Wilson Score Special fans, host Will Farleyers. When the fourth quarter buzzer sounds, you turn to us for your fifth quarter sports talk. So, emergency Facebook Live podcast for sure tonight here on this Wednesday evening here at Wilson Score Special, as we were taping 77 episodes for the podcast earlier. So I was getting ready to do the interview portion, putting all this show stuff together, and right there the news broke out of nowhere. The Chicago White Sox have traded their ace, Dylan Cease, right-handed pitcher we acquired in the 2017 trade that sent Jose Quintana to the Cubs, where we acquired Dylan Cease and Eloy Jimenez. And years later, I don't think anyone thought we would be trading Dylan Cease on a chilly spring Wednesday night in 2024 to the San Diego Padres. So Dylan Cease is now a member of the San Diego Padres. Talk about a shock, guys, as I look at my information here on some of these new White Sox players. Talk about a surprise. So we're going to get right into it here real quick. I think what the White Sox got at first, and I think it made a lot of fans nervous tonight too, including myself, was the way the info trickled out. So it was, first we saw two players, then we saw a third player, then we saw a fourth player, and I'm like, okay. At first I thought with these only two players listed, you got to be kidding me. You deserve more than this for Dylan Cease. Then they had a different guy, then they had another guy. So the deal is 4 players for Dylan Cease. Of the Padres' top 10 prospects, updated by MLB.com's top 100 prospects. The White Sox received the number 5, number 7, number 8 prospects, 3 of the top 10 prospects in the Padres farm system, and a 29-year-old reliever. So Steven Wilson, 29-year-old relief pitcher, can go right into the bullpen for the Sox. He's team controllable till 2028, so not that old for a reliever. Hopefully he can be a depth piece in the bullpen, or in the bullpen this year probably, for the White Sox. But the big 3 pieces for the White Sox: Drew Thorpe, he came over to the Padres early this offseason in the blockbuster deal that sent Juan Soto to the Yankees. So we got a really good young pitcher there, 23 years old. He is a right-handed pitcher, bats left. Then we got Jairo Iriarte. I think I pronounced his name right, yes. Jairo Iriarte, 22-year-old right-handed pitcher who has pretty good pitches. You know, reading some of these guys, they got some pretty good stuff. There's a reason they're rated top 10 prospects. But the one that I really like, too, and we needed some hitters, left-handed hitters. Chris Getz has fixed that in a big way, you know, in the current players he's brought in that can bat left-handed as well. We have an outfielder of the future that could join Luis Robert if, you know, he still stays with the White Sox long-term past his contract, which we all hope he will, which he probably will. Samuel Zavala, 19-year-old outfielder, left-handed hitter. Looks pretty good by his numbers. Pretty average hitter, average arm. He's in single A right now for the Padres, so we'll see where he ends up in the White Sox system or in the spring. And I think they're projecting him to be a corner outfielder. So his bat's got to be more powerful. But he's supposed to have pretty good power, good fielding. But 4 guys for 1 player. You know, the White Sox, I wouldn't say are rebuilding like most teams. This is like a retool. They could try and compete this year, even though people don't think they can, because they're in one of the most winnable divisions in the league. We don't know how the Guardians are going to look. We don't know how the Twins are going to look. We don't know how the Royals are going to look. We don't know how the Tigers are going to look. So if the White Sox, with some of their veterans and young players, can do something, you know, with the new coaches, some of the improved depth, defense, with some of the hitting they still have, despite losing Tim Anderson to the Marlins and letting him go, I think this could be still a pretty good season to look forward to for White Sox fans. This baseball, anything could happen. But the Dylan Cease trade, I wish Dylan Cease nothing but the best. As a White Sox fan, he was a favorite player of mine. So we here at Score Special wish Dylan Cease nothing but the best in his career moving forward as he joins the San Diego Padres. So I think these 4 players could be pretty promising for the White Sox. in some of the trades they, in this retool started at the trade deadline, they got some pitchers, Kai Bush, Nick Nastrini, who's actually a favorite of mine among the young pitchers we have so far. He's looked really good in spring. Jordan Leisure as well. Those two should make the Major League Club, I think. So the key with this, aside from 19-year-old Samuel Zavala that has an ETA of 2025, maybe he'll, like next year, this year, you never know in baseball. I mean, we saw a guy that just got drafted in Noah Chanuel called up by the Angels last year. So Drew Thorpe though has an ETA of this year. Um, Jaro Iriarte has an ETA of this year. Kai Bush, Nastrini, all these other guys in the Sox system have ETAs of this year. Coles Montgomery, Brian Ramos, third base of the future, I think, if Moncada's not sticking around. But the Dylan Cease trade, and overall, I think it was a good return for the White Sox. We didn't know what they were going to be able to get. We knew Chris Getz was going to have a pretty steep price, which it's obvious given Dylan Cease's age, 2 years team control, with the way the pitching market is right now. The Yankees were desperate. We knew the Rangers, who actually, before I knew the Padres were in it, I would have preferred the Rangers over the Yankees. Ezekiel Duran's a pretty good player. That was projected to go to the White Sox with 2 other pitchers, but we got 4 players. We got a guy that can go into our bullpen as a veteran with team control. We have some young pitchers to add to the already young pitching depth we have in the farm system. They're all major league ready guys pretty much. A young outfielder of the future that can go with a already young Luis Robert, Benintendi, guys like that. So I think it's going to be a really good trade moving forward for the White Sox. I don't think we're probably going to see a Robert and Eloy, Benintendi, like a complete teardown. I think they could still compete this year. I think it's kind of like what the Cubs did a few years ago with Yu Darvish. They traded Yu Darvish to the Padres, and it wasn't a rebuild. It was like a salary dump, retool, and look where the Cubs are years later. So it doesn't have to be a complete teardown when you trade your top pitcher. It's a big deal that affects White Sox, of course, but we'll see what they can do this year. Right? We did hear rumors that Michael Lorenzen might sign, but overall, if you guys just tuned in to this Emergency Facebook Live, White Sox ace Dylan Cease is now a San Diego Padre. He heads out west to San Diego at Petco Park for number 5 pitching prospect of the Padres, Drew Thorpe, who they acquired from the Yankees in the Juan Soto trade. 19-year-old outfielder Samuel Zavala, right-handed pitcher Jaro Iriarte, and right-handed 29-year-old relief pitcher Steven Wilson. When the fourth quarter buzzer sounds, turn to us for your 5th quarter sports talk. I'm your host, Will Farrell, saying so long from this emergency Facebook Live of Will's 5th Quarter Special. And go check out episode 77 that was just posted earlier today with our guest appearance who's actually watching the video tonight. Blake Haas was on with me, and we talked Redbird men's and women's basketball. Night, guys. Take care.